What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo Leveling Arise video. Alright guys, we are now going to show you how to do normal mode as free-to-play using an all-light team. Alright, a lot of us free-to-play players did not invest in a fire team because why would you? They were shit for the longest time, and all of a sudden there's a gimmick now that makes defense pen useful and gives fire a big advantage here, right? But for those who don't want to invest in a fire team and who have been building a light team, let me show you guys what I did to get the entire normal run done as a free-to-play player. If you are going to be paid to win, fire team is definitely more superior in this. It's built for them, to be quite honest with you. I don't know why they bought putting light as a secondary. Fire is meant to be, but hey, you know what? Again, as free-to-play players, we have the opportunity to use light team to its full advantage and get the job done. So I'm going to show you guys what I did to get the job done here on my account. So the team that I ran here is going to be Thomas, Gunhee, and Min. You can see my Min is A3, Thomas is A7. Sorry, Thomas is A8, Gunhee's A7. A10 weapon, A8 weapon, A1 weapon, and then I've got 1,048,000 only versus 1 million, so a little bit above still. And then the shadows I'm using here are going to be, you definitely want to use Igris for the crit, you definitely want to use Iron for the defense down, and Cerberus, as long as you don't have him to general, you can use him for the actual beautiful combustion that gives you the extra 5% damage on top of Min's 15% punishment. Okay, so this run is going to be very important. You got to do this diligently, and you got to meet all the criteria to get this done. It's gonna be a really hard one, because what I did with my Thomas specifically is I gave him defense penetration boots, and my Thomas's defense penetration is at 22%. Okay, that was really the key. I try to push as much defense penetration on him as I could. That way he can ignore as much damage on this boss, or as much defense on this boss as possible, okay? So you guys can see defense penetration effect is important here. So in that buff right up there is what matters for him, okay? So you want to use Gunhee. Gunhee will shred the crap out of this guy's bar. Like, he'll rip right through it. You guys can see I'm just going right through it like there's nothing left, right? It's like a hot knife to butter. It literally melts it. Okay, so as soon as that's done, you instantly want to get Min in here. Do your actual rotation with punishment, and then get out quickly for Thomas. Now for Min's gear, I have Sylph and I have Angel in White. Okay, just so you guys are aware, Angel in White, full crit damage setup with Sylph. Okay, that's the setup I have going here. Now with Thomas, it's important to do a couple different things. You want to do full rotations, and you want to make sure, as usual, you wait for this Goliath icon, right, to start flashing before you do your ult. Take advantage of it, because then you can redo it again. Now I bring in Gunhee often just to do another light debuff on him, and then I bring Min back in to do his ult and his punishment, and you keep that up at all times, guys. This is really the only way to get it done in a consistent manner, okay? You guys can see here, there's the ult, because that was starting to flash, and now we go back in, and you build that ult back up, okay? Now while you're building this ult back up, you see I went a little bit too early there, bring Gunhee back in, put that light back up there, bring Min back in, get that punishment back in again, right? You want to make sure punishment stays up at all times. Bring your Thomas in, and at this point, you should be able to get your ult up and running. There it is. And then you go right back into the same rotation. This is essentially the entire fight outside of the two phases, all right? Two things I do want to explain about the two phases, though, that are going to be important, that'll help you guys out. So this first phase is very easy. You're going to just want to look out for the green sphere and go for it, okay? Grab that before it gets to him. He can't get any of these green spheres, so just grab those. Very easy. Once he does go through this, he will go into a break phase. Make sure you see Goliath right about to end here. You got to cast it before it goes. Right there, it is the cast. Right now, I'm gonna be able to get my ultimate back up again. So pretty straightforward. There, like there's Gunhee now. Go back in again. Do your ult. Get Gunhee's damage out, and he does pretty good damage. So don't forget that. So definitely cast it. All right, here we go. Doing Min again with punishment. Doing my ult. And again, I do punishment ult quick because I want to get in and out as fast as possible to get Thomas in for as much damage as I can, okay? You don't want to have the other two idling in for too long, because again, this is the toughest boss in my opinion in this entire fight. It causes the most amount of problem for people. So definitely guys, rotate in and out and just get Thomas in as fast as you can to do ults. But then when you've done his full rotation, get him out. Don't cast his ult right away, right? You want to bring Gunhee back in, bring Min back in to do punishment again, and then again, you always have to, here I mess up, you guys can see punishment still went through. You always want to wait till this Goliath starts flashing. That's the key. That's the key to making Thomas unstoppable killing machine, because as long as you keep that up, he'll continuously keep getting his ult, and you could just keep doing this rotation over and over and over again, okay? So very important. You guys can see here, it definitely works out. Now, if you guys are wondering what my defense is for my Thomas defense is only at 28k. My Gunhee defense is only at 20k. Now, for this rotation, guys, stay inside the ball. Don't go out, okay? Stay inside. You'll get all three of them easier this way. Just aim, do one dodge, and then move, okay? Stay the inside, not the outside. I did the mistake originally of going to the outside. It actually ended up causing me more headaches in 3 rotations over 2. So you guys can see here, the boss is almost dead, and we got a lot of time left, right? Here's Min, cast punishment, cast my ult, and then again, get out, right? Thomas has got his ult up already. Do the full rotation here before doing the ult. Get him back in afterwards, and then start rolling here, all right? And this is what's going to matter the most for getting this job done, is you have to make sure that Thomas is fully functional and you are watching that timer, especially for his ultimate, so you can keep this up. Now, it's important, obviously, to get Gun-He with his light debuff up as much as possible as well, and making sure that punishment is always up. Always cast your shadows, guys. It's very important, because if you have Iron on your team, Iron's going to be able to do the defense down for you, which eliminates that buff that he has right there, which will help you do more damage over time. But you guys can see 14%, 13% left. We got a lot of time here to get the job done, and this is pretty much game over for us, and we win. And again, Thomas is the star, but can't be done without the other two. I haven't used Akari yet. I know people who haven't beat it, so maybe Akari is a good option as well, but I prefer Min personally for that extra 15% damage plus that extra crit, especially because I'm replacing my crit damage boots for defense pen. But that is what I did to do this one. So just watch that rotation, and you should be able to get the job done fairly easily, okay? The rest of the fights are a lot easier. I find this to be the toughest fight. So once this one's over, I'll move over to the next one and show you guys what I did. I did everything free to play with free to play weapons for SJW as well. All right, I'll be right back. All right, guys, next up is the next fight, and this time we're fighting DEIMOS on his horse. So this fight here specifically is going to be a tough one, all right? But it's not as tough as the first one. So here's the team that I went with. I went with Thomas, Gun-He, and Min as my three main supports. Again, all light team. My skills were, I believe it was the armor break light one, so the almighty break light one, and I have legendary Sonic Stream light version as well too. So the double down, or double, I think it's called double down, yeah. And then I have the guild spear, okay, the A9 guild spear right here, and I have the A7 or A6, I think it's A6 actually, Golden Tail Fox, okay, and I'm running 4 curse, 4 expert, 40k attack, sorry, a little less than 40k attack, 39k attack, running with 8k crit, 200% crit damage, 20% defense penetration, and I'm running with light bracers, okay? Actually, I'm not even, no, this one I'm actually running wind braces, my old bracer. I didn't even put light braces on this one. So the goal here, though, is for the Blessing Stones. So I have, you guys can see the Blessing Stones. I have Pulverize. I have this specific one, a Legendary Mana one. This one is huge if you're going to use the Guild Spear. You literally never lose mana. So this one, or MP. So this is a big one. I have this one on. I have the, I took Reawakening off for this one. So Reawakening's not on. I have Bloodlust, and I have, what was the other one that I have? Reawakening, the Mono one, Pulverize, Bloodlust, and there's one other one, very common one. I'm now like losing my mind a little bit, forgetting which one. Anyways, either way, it's pretty straightforward how to do this. So you essentially start the battle off with a Shadow Step. Okay, go in with your break right away. Bring Gun-He to break as well, and all your QTEs should be your break ones. Every single one of the QTEs you have should all be break QTEs. Okay, and then go in with your spear, your Golden Fox spear, and then start casting your lights, your guild spear. It'll do a lot of damage, okay? Your goal, of course, is to break him as soon as you possibly can. Just time all your shadow steps. Every shadow step needs to happen timely, and if you get them at the right time, you'll be able to destroy him pretty fast, with quite some time left, actually. So you guys can see here, he does this one attack right there where he puts his feet up in the air. That's where you want to shadow step. It gives you a lot of time to actually avoid the damage and just shadow step through it. So get your Monarch out whenever you can. Keep your shadows obviously in the game as much as you can as well too. As soon as you break him, from here it's just all straight damage, right? And he only has a few phases in this mode. This mode is actually the easier one. I find the last one to be a little bit more difficult, but we'll go through each phase as it happens. So you just keep DPSing here. He'll do the same thing. He'll just kind of swing around with a spear. His horse will do the same thing. Get your ultimate up. Again, just shadow step, get your min out, make sure that punishment is up there. Make sure your shadow step is in, combustion is up, your bloodlust is going right, and you guys can see here at this point, just any QTEs that you can throw in for extra damage will always help. Again, shadows, having your shadows up at all times, super beneficial. And then Foxtail, always do that before you do your cast of your light spear, just to get more damage in. Now this one, he's gonna run across the field. You can shadow step right through that one right there, and get an extra shadow step in if it's not up already. But you guys can see mine's already up at defense down, so I'm good. Right there, easy shadow step again. And again, going in with as many possible skills as you can. So this is a pretty straight DPS run. It's a DPS check more than anything else. He doesn't really do anything that's crazy or over the top that makes him difficult here. It's just you're going to have to throw as much DPS as you can. I will say this right now. The Guild Spear is good. Here's his first jump. He gets off his horse and jumps. Try to shadow step through that if you can. Give him another little shadow step defense down. And then from here, again, just go back in, QTE, QTE, and then wait for your Guild Spear to pop up and your Sonic Scream to pop up to do as much damage. Now, if you don't have Sonic Spear, you can also use Electric Shock. Electric Shock is fantastic in this fight and can do quite a bit of damage if you don't have it. And ticks too, right? So that's damage over time for you guys to kind of work off of too. So you guys can see here again, Guild Spear's up. We're going to keep doing as many as we can. And this part sucks because he disappears and he starts doing his second phase, where he starts summoning horses from each side of the screen. All you got to do here is just avoid them, right? You guys can see 1, 2, 3. I have Thomas here purposely to put a shield up so I can save one of my dashes. He goes into a break state at this point. Again, going in, full damage. And then again, going in with the Guild Spear, as much spams as you can. Now this part sucks because he goes in the middle, and right here, he starts summoning more horses, but you can actually still damage him. Just stay in front of him, okay? Put a shield up on yourself like Thomas or Gun-He, and just keep damaging him. Let him keep casting this move until he's done. At a certain point in time, though, he will go into the middle and force you to break him without a full break bar, but he does have a small little break bar like the guild boss, and that's really the really hard part. If you don't break that, I believe he summons 2 adds. So make sure you do break that before it's over, okay? You guys can see here, going in, going in, going in. Again, right here, he jumps up, comes down, shadow step that, avoid that damage. You guys can see we're almost done. We have a lot of time left, 45 seconds with an ult. This is going to push him to about 7%. And then this will give us the opportunity now to hone in and finish. Now, this is what I was talking about. He goes right in the middle. Make sure you have a Gun-He or something available to break this. You guys can see my Gun-He comes out. That's all you really need. A couple QTEs work as well. But if you don't actually break him in that phase, those 2 adds will come out and he'll be almost impossible to kill. So there you guys go. Pretty straightforward fight right there. Completed that one. And we are now off to the next one. All right, guys, here we go. So this is the last fight. So same team, same setup, nothing different. You guys can see him on the other side on the live stream. I'm going to put myself over here so I'm not distracting you. Exact same look and feel. The only difference with this fight is there's a lot more mechanics required and probably a lot tougher when it comes down to mobile players. So he starts off the same as Baron. He'll do like a beam of some sort. So just go right, shadow step right behind him, start going into breaks. His break bar is way easier to break on this one, but he gets 2 of them. Okay, so keep that in mind. There'll be a future one coming up closer to like 20-something%. All right, so just have that in the back of your mind while you're playing this. That he will have a secondary bar, okay? I changed no skills here. Everything else remains exactly the same, so just keep at it. The only difference here that I actually made compared to my first run is I put light bracers on when I didn't have them originally, okay? Now, in normal mode, you're also going to have a hunter version of this fight as well, too. And again, I used the full light team to finish this. So the first phase is him essentially just attacking you with a couple flips, couple attacks, a beam, a roar, where he throws like these orbs at you from the top. You guys can see they're coming in. They're kind of like honing missiles. Pretty straightforward stuff. Just keep working on them. And then once you've completed this part of it, he disappears right here and it does his first mechanic. Okay, the first mechanic is a little bit annoying, but he throws these orbs at you where they come towards him and you can't let them reach him. So he heals a lot if you do. So just keep hurting these. I did my ult here just to take out as many as I could. But you guys can see here, as I attack these, you see how his bar just went all the way to max? You want to get that all the way to max without them reaching, okay? So try to get those bar completed for him. You see every time you kill one, the bar will increase, right? You actually want the bar to increase. You want it to get to max. There you go. Once you max out that bar, he now is in a break phase, okay? So don't let him get any of these orbs. Essentially, that's the goal of the first phase. So just keep working your way through this, keep DPSing, and then the second phase will commence. Now, there's a trick to the second phase. I believe it's the second. No, it's actually the third phase. I apologize. Second phase is more of an RNG phase where you're going to have to deal with some gates. But you guys can see here, I'm essentially doing the same thing. And here it is. This is the second phase where he'll put these purple gates and you have to hide within them. Now, they're randomly placed in different places. I don't know exactly what the mechanic is here, but you just got to go to a random one. And if they're correct, you'll hide in the purple one, and this move won't hurt you. I honestly just cheesed it a little bit. And I put shields up for the most part, and I found the last one always, and that always worked. There's one time in the hunter mode where I found all of them, so I don't know if there's a mechanic there I might have missed. I might have to reassess this and rewatch it, but I think maybe there is something that shows where he's at. Now this just makes him grow a little bit stronger, and you guys can see his break bar is still in white, right? It doesn't actually change until like 20 some odd percent until he starts flashing. So just keep doing your thing here, keep attacking, and then he's going to go into what I call his Dance Dance Revolution phase, which is coming up right about now. So here you can actually cheese this. Just go right behind him. Just get all the greens and go right behind him. Now, here's the thing. If you get any reds, okay? You can go right behind him right now and not have to deal with this. I'm just showing you guys how to do the proper way, but if you want to avoid this phase, you can. Get inside the purple gate after to avoid this damage. But you can go right behind him. But you can see I have this debuff there, the three arrows down. That's damage reduction on my attack. So that's me losing DPS right there. So if you go behind him quick enough and get all the greens, you can avoid that completely. That whole phase is cheesed out. Now, I think they're going to probably patch that and make you do the whole thing eventually. So I just want to show you guys how it is done in case you decide to plan to do it, okay? So here you go. Same thing happens here. Nothing really changes. The same attack pattern happens. Just keep going with your DPS. There it is. Remember, the Golden Tail Fox will paralyze him, which is great. So it gives you some time to keep doing with your Guild Spear. Remember, Guild Spear is pretty damn awesome in this. I was able to finish this entire thing with using 2 free-to-play weapons, okay? And complete light team. So that made me pretty proud. Okay, now here he summons like 3 ads that blow up. Avoid these. Just use shields. I'm an idiot. I went after these guys like a fool. I didn't need to. I could have just completely avoided it, but I went after them. A shield would have completely helped you guys, and you wouldn't have to even worry about this. But you guys can see here that wasted some time. I could have got this done even quicker than what's shown here, but that was my mistake, okay? Here there's a beam, and then there it is. See what I mean? 24%. There goes his next his bar. Okay, so make sure you break this bar quickly. There it is. There it is. Once you break him, it's pretty straightforward at this point, and then it's just the end game, and then you do the exact same thing with the Hunter mode, okay? In Hunter mode, honestly, I used the same team as I did with the first team, so it was Min, Gun, He, and it was pretty easy to get done. Okay, you guys can see here, I'm having a little bit of time to break this last bar, obviously, but we have plenty of time to finish this. I think I kind of messed up somewhere. Here we go. I broke it now, and then from here, we just do an Alt, Shadow Step in, Alt, and then this will take him down to what, like 16, 17%? Oh, 19%. I barely did anything. That alt did barely anything. Here we go. And then Guild Spear again. Now, here's the crazy part, okay? I don't know if you guys have been looking at my mana, but that Blessing Stone, that MP mana one, I barely went below 10% mana. Barely went below, sorry, 90% mana. I barely went below any MP. That is one of the best Blessing Stones. If you plan to use the Guild Spear, you have to use that Blessing Stone. I removed Reawakening for it, and it was worth every penny of that removal. That Blessing Stone was MVP for this entire fight, okay? So there you guys go. Completion on this fight. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Full light team again, normal mode, right? And again, you guys can see I'm not using any blessings, by the way. 0 blessings this entire fight, okay? 0 blessings. And you guys can see here we're getting a couple legendaries and stuff, right? And you guys can see it does say normal mode. There was an achievement there, so I'm not just like pulling your chain here. Okay, so there's that one. And then we have one more to go. All right, guys, this is the last one here, okay? So same team as before, nothing changed, 107-1, 517, same power as the first boss, okay? Simply just got to do this the exact same rotation way that you did before, all right? So first thing, beam coming in, of course, dodge that. Now the first, sorry, I think I retried because I was talking to chat there. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, get Gun He in quickly, and then as soon as Gun He goes in, just avoid this beam. Okay, of course, you can't Shadow Step here, but just go in for the break. And again, Gun He will eat this break bar alive. Like, he is easily the best breaker in this entire place in regards to how quickly he breaks how quickly he gets rid of this break bar, right? And once you're done that, all you got to do then is bring Min in, do your punishment, and then the same rotation applies, right? Just do the same thing again, the rotation, right? Punishment, move out of the way. And I think if I recall on this one, I did kind of screw up a few times on my punishments and messed up. So I could have got this actually done even quicker than what you'll see, but I did mess up. So Thomas, same scenario, guys, full rotation on main Thomas. And then when you go into Goliath, same rotation, full rotation in. So that's his first skill core, second skill core, and then get out, put Gun He back in, get your light debuff up, and make sure that punishment is there, right? You guys can see punishment's going away. So this is where you want to get Gun He, get that light damage in, get his ult in, and then get Min in quickly, do his punishment right there, and then get him out, right? Oh, sorry, do his ult. Yeah, always do his ult when it's available. There it is. Okay, and then Thomas in. You guys can see the Goliath is starting to blink now. It's almost time to cast it, and there it is. And now you have ultimate damage in, right? Not only are you casting your shadows. Oh, actually, I missed that ult because he went to the next phase. So be careful of that. 78% he goes into that next phase, okay? So I kind of lost that ult. But here we're going to recast it, and we're going to cast it on these orbs just to get as many orbs as we can out of the way. And again, do not let those orbs reach him because they will heal him, and it's not a good look. So, and it's weird. When you transform, the orbs actually look like eyeballs. It looks kind of cool. So just make sure you are, look at that. That looks crazy. That looks like Eye of Cthulhu, like, or is it Cthulhu from World of Warcraft? Anyways, so you guys can see there, we blew up a lot of the balls there. The eyeballs are pretty much almost done. 3 more left. And again, you want the bar to fill up, okay? Don't a lot of the times we don't want the bar to fill up. In this case, we do. There's the break. And then again, going in, Min, punishment, get Thomas in there, and then same rotation, okay? So essentially that's the same ebb and flow. And here I think I'm going to show you guys the trick to go behind the boss on the next, not this coming phase, but the following phase. I actually show you guys how to do it. All right, you guys can see I brought Baron out just for a little bit of extra damage. Not really required. You could have used him in the break phase, but he breaks so quickly. You can also save him for the last phase if you need to break him a little quicker. But with Gun He, it's not really a necessity. Okay, here again, you can, if you have Thomas, I mean, he'll absorb almost everything. But you guys can see I actually went in some of these correctly. And again, I'm not sure what dictates the purples and which ones doesn't, but here I just take the whole thing, honestly. And at this point, I lost my ult. It's fine. Bring Gun He back in. Right? And there's an ult. And then he's going to start doing his Power of Darkness. And there's Min casting his ultimate. Make sure you get Thomas back in again. Take advantage of these phases. He does push back in this phase, so just be careful of that. And these orbs you got to also watch out for. Just try to get your ultimate back up so you can go back into Goliath mode as soon as possible. You guys can see he was invulnerable there for a couple hits. This is because he's going to the next phase. Okay, this is the DDR phase. And this is what I think we're right behind him, right? You guys can see, look, I'm going right behind and I just stay there. Right, that's what I was talking about. You can just avoid that whole phase. Super, super simple. But avoid getting any reds. If you get any reds along the way, you are going to screw yourself over. Get in that portal. He'll come down with his ultimate. Again, same phase as before. And then you guys can see the rest is just cake. Honestly, the rest is just doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. You guys can see 36%. We're going to push him again here. We got a lot of time left, right? 21%. And here you guys can see his bar will start coming back. Oh, no, we already broke his bar, I think. Yeah, we already broke it. So we're going back in, just finishing him off at this point, right? And that was that. So I had 30, I think I had 30, maybe 20 some odd seconds, 18 seconds left before I finished him. But we did get the job done. So it was a little bit of crunch, but I did mess up a few times. I casted ultimates at the wrong phases, and I lost a couple ultimates from Gun He, as well as, oh, there's another break phase right there, and Thomas. So certain things I could have done better for sure, but definitely doable, guys. So definitely push your free-to-play account to the limits and get the job done. You guys can definitely do it like I did it, and you don't need a fire team to get it done. Now, like I said before in my last video with Essel, if you are planning to do hard mode, though, I think Essel is going to be required, and so will the fire team, just to get past the first boss. But if you're building light team correctly, normal mode is doable. All right, folks, this is Payne. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the guide somewhat helped you guys. Remember, I did it at 1.078 for hunters, 1.1 something for Sung, with 2 free-to-play weapons, the Guild Spear and the event weapon. So it's definitely possible. All right, folks, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.